I guess the name recognition of the Karate Kid was so great, and there was so much nostalgia. People were like, oh, and they knew it was from the Cobra Kai side, and I think that's what made it really cool. If it would have been Miyagi-Do, not saying it wouldn't have worked, I just think it would have been a little less, but because it was through Cobra Kai, people were like, oh, that's different, and it's gotta be cool. So people said, we'll check it out. And when we did that first trailer, through the roof.
In this episode, we talk with Caleb Pinkett. Caleb is one of the fastest rising and most influential producers in Hollywood, and one of the producers of YouTube's premium hit, Cobra Kai. As the head of Overbrook Film and Television, which is a production home of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, Caleb has helped launch Netflix's breakout hit, To All the Boys I Loved Before, and the featured film, I Am Legend.
This is Creative Disruption, the intersection where entertainment, data, and creativity meet. Here's your hosts, Ricky Ray Butler and Daryl Leaves.
Welcome back to the Creative Disruption. I'm super excited about this episode because I am a huge fan of Cobra Kai. You watched the
I binged it one night.
Listen,
absolutely.
Listen, like seriously, like YouTube has tried so much.
I didn't think I was going to. I wasn't expecting, because I like the Karate Kid, but like I wasn't obsessed with it. But my wife and I, we literally watched the entire series in one night. We watched it quick.
Like YouTube's made content before on premium, and I'm like, this is not even the same, atmosphere, stratosphere. Cobra Kai was outside of the box thinking, and I really, really loved the way that they delivered it. And I found myself, I binge watched it. I literally lost, a day of just watching the whole thing, which was awesome. Now you have a theory about Karate Kid here, right?
Specifically Cobra Kai.
Oh, is it Cobra Kai? Is it a Cobra Kai theory?
Yeah, my theory, look, I don't think it's super controversial, but I think basically they got a lot of kids that were picked on, that were somewhat bullied. And
okay, wait. Were you ever bullied in school?
I'm not going to admit. Yes, a little bit. Just a little bit, though.
Okay.
And basically, turn them into bullies. And I think it's an awesome show. It was cool.
So there's a YouTube video that's been floating around for quite a few years, and the first time that I watched this, I think Matthew Turner that actually made this video, it has like 9 million views or something, and it actually states that. It says Daniel was the bully, and I'm like, no, Daniel wasn't the bully. So I watched this video, and guess who actually punched first in every one of the situations after that first encounter? Who punched first?
I'm gonna guess Daniel.
Daniel did. 100%.
Well, but it was a time where someone was using the restroom and he sprayed water on them too,
exactly.
Right?
He was minding his own business. I think he was rolling something to smoke to make him a lot more peaceful. but what happened? What happened? So Daniel definitely was the bully there. But watching Cobra Kai, and I'm really, I got to ask this question when we bring Caleb on. Yeah. Was that the inspiration for the script? Because ultimately the video that was 3 years ago was literally breaking down what the storyline of Cobra Kai, which I just love.
So you're saying with Cobra Kai that basically they did what Mr. Miyagi did, but at scale? With a variety of people? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, well, Ricky, let's go ahead and introduce our guest.
We have with us, the producer of Cobra Kai, Caleb Pinkett.
Yes, sir.
And the president of Overbrook?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. It's really cool.
Now, I watched a YouTube video just the other day, probably a couple months ago, where your brother-in-law, Will Smith, basically did a little vlog explaining how you got into the industry. And I'm like, I'll tell you what. After the end of that video, I'm like, man, one day I want to meet this Caleb guy, because he has what it takes. Seriously, you're disrupting the industry in so many different ways. But you did it from the very beginning. And what did it all start with? Boxing? And it was hey, gotta get in shape or whatever it was. And
yeah. That's really how it happened. Will at the time was very regimented and life has to, you got to be disciplined and, you got to work and you got to gain, and I had these ideas for movies and I pitched them and he was like, yeah, those are cool. I think that's a good idea. But, if I'm going to work with you, you got to get in shape. And I was like, what? What the fuck does that? I'm sorry. I was like, what does that have to do with doing movies? And he said, no, it has everything to do, because I need to know you have the mental capacity to handle your body telling you to quit when you know you want something. If you can do that, that's the key to life.
We'd be his best friends. I get fired immediately.
Yeah, but that's how I went. That video did all right. I was like, I was surprised how many views that got. I was like, oh my god.
No, but did you read the comments? Like, I'm one that I actually go through the comments. I want to see what people are really.
Yeah.
And like literally, like Hollywood's known for nepotism, right? It's
Right.
like, oh, my great grand godchild is going to be the next movie star or whatever it is. But that didn't happen in your case. I mean, you have a very popular sister and a very popular brother-in-law. And like, well, no, you ain't going to give you nothing. You gotta go work for it.
Yeah, Jada is the worst with that. Let me tell you,
on camera.
She does not, like, she is not going to give you anything. She's like, everything you'll have to earn, because everybody's going to assume and think that you were given everything just because of your last name and because you're my brother. There's nothing you can do except be good at your job. So when they meet you and deal with you, they say, well, maybe they didn't just give him something. Maybe he read a couple of things, right? Because you know what you're talking about, and there's a passion for it, and they see it. And, in families, it's a lot of the stuff is not too far. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not an accident like that LeBron's son wants to play basketball. You know what I mean? It's like, there's things where people, Archie Manning, Peyton Manning, you know what I mean?
Right. You got the Watts brothers, like all of them.
Right. The Watts, even Clay Matthews, his family. Like there's families, kind of gravitate around the same thing. It's not always, it's not an exact science, but it's, it's similar. And, our Jada and our father was extremely talented and into the arts and stuff. So I think that's where we naturally got it. And, it just all went from there.
But you are more a marketing mind. I mean, when I was going through it, I'm like I'm a person that's behind the scenes. Like, I'm literally helping different creators, brands, projects, whatever it may be. And I'm able to see patterns in marketing and so on and so forth. When I was watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could literally see your handiwork in the projects that you are. And I went on after that video, and this is well before this podcast, well before we actually had you on as a guest. I went on your IMDb, and I was like blown away of where you got your start, how you were able to do it, and realistically, it followed the timeline with that video. I'm like, is that really accurate? Come on,
right?
Is that just staged? But no, like you were literally hustling to make things work, and I think you were going above and beyond what most people would do, because you had all these famous people that you're surrounded by, but you had to break out on your own.
Yes, sir. And it's still that way. Everything if you notice, a lot of the things that Overbrook is doing, and within the past 2 years and all the way up to now, we'll just use Cobra Kai since you guys are talking about it. All that was done without my sister or Will doing anything. Sure. Neither one of them promoted it on their Instagrams or anything. Nobody said, go watch this. None of that. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't, it's amazing. It's by design. Not that I couldn't. I say, hey, Jada, can you do this? Of course. Right? Will, can you do it? Yeah. But everybody's going to assume any success or anything I get is because of them. And, oh, yeah, your brother-in-law did that, So it's like, you can check it. They didn't say anything. And the show still did well. So it stands on its own as a quality project. And as you guys, we're talking, I think, those types of things. And it won't be with everything. There's things that I'll be like, hey, shout this, certain things, because in our world, social media is the new world. That's how people get their news. More people get their news from YouTube than CNN. You know what I mean?
It's so
true. So because of that, it's like if you want to reach the masses, you have to do it through some social media platform, whether YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever that is.
Now I heard a rumor, and I don't know if this is true or not, but did you have to actually convince your brother-in-law to get on Instagram? Is that truth?
Well, it is in the sense it wasn't just me. I won't take that credit, but Will was like, because Will's an old school movie star, like, the kind where you don't do any TV because the people can see you for free. They're not going to go see your movies. You don't promote anything like a Pepsi or some tires because
Unless
you can't.
it's in Europe.
Right, because you can't have your brand attached to anything because that's who they're gonna think. Oh, there's the Pepsi guy, right? So movie stars, especially in the United States, as the point that you made, they wouldn't, right? And they had to keep it so that mystery thing, so you'll go see the movie. Mm-hmm. But social media blew all of that out the water. The people started saying, no. I want to know you for real. I want to see what you like when you get up in the morning. I want to see who's in your house. I want to know what you think about certain things. Well, then maybe we don't, whatever that is, but people wanted that insight. And you saw what The Rock was doing. You saw what Kevin Hart was doing. And if you look at it, The Rock and Kevin Hart really moved to the forefront.
Absolutely.
As far as actors, right? And became movie stars not through their social media, but their social media helped sustain it. They were able to wrangle their fans. If that, you know what I mean? Sure. And Will was looking like, yo, that's like, it's a new world. Like, okay. And we all, we do a lot of reading and studying, and in life, it's evolve or die. Anything that's not growing is dying, period. You know what I mean? So Will was like, well, I'm not dead yet. And I'm looking at this, and Will was like, and Will loves making content. He loves,
he's a creator.
He's a creator. So it gave him a chance to make something new every day. You know what I mean? Make jokes like that stuff he does, that Scaring Scotty thing. Will does that to everybody. Like, he's always been that type of person. Now he could videotape it and people get to see that side of him, and it was just great for a lot of people. Will's also he's very inspirational. He always would call me in the mornings. Hey, love this. He calls me love. He's like, yo, love, this is what I'm thinking. We got to do this in life. You got to do this. You got to, just whatever that is. Now he can do it and give it to 10 million people, and their lives improve. So for him, it was like the greatest thing ever.
No, I love it. And I love the content too, because then there's other creators, and I'm going to mention one that I probably shouldn't, but Mario Lopez did a vlog, and it was like so disconnected. It was very heavily produced. They had multiple cameras getting into their family. I'm like, this is not real. Like, I had a hard time with that. And I'm like A-list celebrities and other celebrities, they just don't get the social world. They don't get it. But Will's content and Overbook too. I mean, it's just like, you guys understand more what the viewer wants, and you're providing that, authentic look. And I think Cobra Kai is like a perfect example of that. Yeah. It's like, seriously, like it's one of those cult classic type things Karate Kid is. But Cobra Kai takes it to a level that you're literally confirming all the theories that were out there that Daniel was a bully, He
is to Johnny. He is to Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%.
So how did that all come up? Like with the scripts and stuff? Who?
So John, Josh, and Hayden, they are our showrunners, and they're repped at CAA as we are. And I got a call. Would I like to hear a pitch on a project called Cobra Kai? And I said, I love, I said, this is obviously connected to the Karate Kid. And the agent was like, yeah. And my agent Elizabeth said, yeah. I don't want to ruin the pitch, but it's basically, you pick up with the original bully. I think his name was Johnny. You know what I mean? And she's like, you're 30 years later, and basically he thinks his life is hell because Daniel LaRusso cheated him in the All Valley tournament. And I was like, you know what, Liz? That's fucking, sorry. I was like, that's freaking brilliant. You know what I mean? And she was like, oh, I said, you didn't ruin the pitch at all. I was like, that's fantastic. Yeah. Because what I always look for in stories is the emotion, relatability, the thing that somebody, no matter what ethnicity they are or what language they speak, can understand that. Sure. If you think somebody cheated you and that's the reason why your life isn't what it could be, it's so emotionally right, people just would gravitate to it. And then you make it funny. Every channel he was turning to, Daniel LaRusso's videos
exactly.
are up. He's driving down the street. There's a Daniel LaRusso billboard. It's come on. You know what I mean? Like, who hasn't felt like the world or God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, is sticking it to you, right? And the whole show was on a guy that's basically getting it stuck to him and decides, enough of this. I'm going to recreate the thing that gave me power. And we're going to take that guy down. And I was like, that's fantastic. And what's great is he learns so much along the way. You know what I mean? Like the Johnny character. I love that character so much because I'm into that kind of raw, like Danny McBride style comedy. I love that kind of stuff. Like when the guy thinks, takes himself so serious and is in it and is just hilarious. I love it. And, Billy Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence, is just great at it. And and people are responding. I was really shocked at the level of response. You know what I mean? Like, I get approached when people, because we have these, our jackets, Cobra Kai jackets, and anytime I wear that jacket, people are like, hey, do you work with that show or anything? And I was like, and they're, because like, where'd you get the jacket? I'm like, no, I'm on the show. Oh, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm the producer. Oh my God, I love it. Either me and my wife love, like it's always that kind of thing, and everybody's like, I can't wait for season 2. And I'm like, if you love season 1, season 2 is going to blow it out the water. I'm telling you. It's so cool.
It's one of those things where I think your brother-in-law will be happy to hear this and inspire me to want to work out again through mixed martial arts.
Yeah, so, which is my favorite thing. I love the USC.
Because this is the thing. Like right after I watched it, I geeked out on YouTube and I went through all these different rabbit holes about karate. And I looked at my old style, which was like called, it was like this Hawaiian, like weird street fighting like style called Kaji Kimbo.
Kaji Kimbo.
Yeah,
like some type of
that I learned in like this really hoduck, redneck town in Utah. As a kid, I was like 8 or 9, and I always remembered it, and I just like looked it up, and I just started like studying it. I was like, man, and my wife's like, if you got into fighting, that'd be hot. I'm like, okay, done. I'm gonna go do this. But no, I mean, it's seriously one of those shows that was just super cool, super nostalgic. But my biggest question is, why did you guys decide to go with YouTube Red or now Premium? Because yes, YouTube's huge. There's billions of viewers on YouTube,
right?
But this could have easily resided on any other. Well, flopped.
Oh, 1,000%.
Or done well any other platform. So why did you guys go and take the risk with YouTube Red?
Listen, that was so at the time, the studio, Sony, the television guys, which are my guys, I love those guys. They were calling me, Caleb, you are killing the potential for this show. Why are you? Because here is my thing. YouTube offered to go straight to series in the room. And now I've always been taught, take yes for an answer. You know what I mean? Like, yes, let me think about it. No. And I knew, and we also went to other streaming platforms, and they were all, I don't know if I can say their names or whatever, but they were like, we want to do script first, and then we'll decide, go to pilot, then we'll see, and this and that. And I was like, no. And Sony was like, well, Caleb, I think you should really consider, because this platform is the biggest thing out there. They're going to pay. It's going to be great. Let's just tell the guys to do the script. Hopefully it goes to series. And I told the guys, they called me, John, Josh, and Hayden. They were like, Caleb, we're getting pressured. Like, what do you want to do? I said, we're going to YouTube Red. I know it's the smaller one. I know it's the one that people, who knows? I said, but they want it.
And they give it love.
Yes. I said, nobody else wants it like that. I said, because all those platforms got money coming out the yin yang, and none of them wanted to go straight to series. They want to test the water.
Yeah.
Cool then. Now they're all like, oh, well, I heard YouTube said they're going to stop doing scripted stuff. So, if they let it go, call us. You know what I mean? And it's like it's just, it worked out. And I heard, because I know a lot of people over at Netflix, and I've spoken with a lot of big people over there, and they used to say their biggest worry was YouTube, because YouTube is the only streaming platform that's in more countries than they were. So they were like, that would be the only one that we would be nervous about.
And you're like,
and I said, and I was like, that's where you go. You know what I mean? Let's see what they do with it. Because again, nobody else wanted to go straight to series. And I was like, these guys work so hard. How am I gonna tell them you might get paid? Yeah. I want to be like, no, you're getting paid. We say yes, we're in. You know what I mean? And you know, it was, you know, it worked out. It was a gamble. Yes, it was, but it worked. So, you know,
my question is like, okay, so you chose someone and a platform that is going to get out to more people,
yes.
right? And you, like, most people in this industry wouldn't do that. They're like, no, we want the safer bet.
Oh yeah.
The safer bet is to go with the bigger studio, bigger, you know, let's do a Netflix or whatever. But you decided to go that way. Mm-hmm. What did you do, like priming up social media or anything to prepare for because it's all about marketing.
Yes.
It's about distribution and getting people, you know, eyeballs being aware of it.
Well, what was great was because it was YouTube, they're already plugged in. Like they got, you know, they do their analytics and, you know, people like this and they age from this number to this at this certain time of night and they eat French fries and pizza and this is what they're going to want. And then the ones that are having broccoli and chicken, they're going to have this. Like they got every damn thing. Like, honestly, I was like, yo, this shit. I was like, y'all might be the devil. I was like, how the hell do you have all of this information? And what's funny is they kind of laugh just like that. Anyway, so Caleb, like we said, this is the thing. But they just strategically placed certain small snippets. But what happened was I guess the name recognition of the Karate Kid was so great and there was so much nostalgia. People were like, oh, and they knew it was from the Cobra Kai side. And I think that's what made it really cool. If it would have been Miyagi-Do, not saying it wouldn't have worked. I just think it would have been a little less. But because it was through Cobra Kai, people were like, oh, that's different and it's gotta be cool. So people said, we'll check it out. And when we did that first trailer, through the roof. Once the people saw that was it.
And you guys broke records on that too.
Yeah,
That was like
on the trailer alone. I'm like, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I was just like, please, let's deliver.
What records did they break?
Oh, like from a trailer driven off of a streaming platform is like the highest trailer ever watched.
Yeah, and it was also like within a certain amount of time because they do that too. Like, oh, within the first 12 hours, 24 hours, you stream like this. You know, it's similar to what studios do with opening weekend. You make 20 million, they'll say, okay, times 3, you're going to tap out around 60. You know, so I guess it's the same sort of math that they use. Okay, if you had these many views within 24, we're betting we'll get to here, and you know, there's that.
So yeah, I just pulled it up. It's 46 million video views on the trailer itself. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy. I know I watched at least that 5 times. I mean,
well, it's good.
No, it was really good, and like the storyline was really good. And I thought, you know what, this is like when I watched it, I'm like, okay, YouTube is getting serious. I mean, they have YouTube TV and they're wanting to get higher production value. Yeah. This one actually proved that it could be done. You left me hanging because I thought Daniel and Johnny were going to be friends at the very end. Mm-hmm. It was just there. It was like I was a hug and everything, and it just all fell apart very quickly.
And here's the thing. It's like, see, I'm dating myself. I just turned 39 yesterday. So I had my 39th birthday. And so I'm dating myself with this. It's like Tony and Angela. Once they get together, the show's over.
Yeah, it's done.
You can't do that. They always, you have to give, you know,
just almost there. It's that emotion.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I love it. So let's kind of shift gears because like this isn't just an episode about Cobra Kai.
Right.
But it's like literally Overbrook, I truly believe, is one of the companies that's really disrupting Hollywood because you're doing things differently and you're doing it a different approach than most studios. And most studios, they have a whole bunch of history and they have a whole bunch of, you know, employees and so on and so forth. You're taking a different approach, and the way that I look at it, it's a lot of your leadership style of how you're actually gauging which projects to do. It's like Cobra Kai is a perfect example. You're like, oh yeah, like they said yes, and yes, they're delivering to more countries. Why wouldn't we want to be on that platform versus another one? Kind of give us some of your philosophies of business and how you look at projects and how you look ahead, because you're literally looking ahead of how to stay afloat, right?
Right, at 1,000%. And you know, for me, like I said, with projects, it's always about the human emotion. That's the first thing. Do I feel it? Not understand it, but do I feel it? Because you can understand things that you don't emotionally connect to, and that isn't interesting. But once you feel it, it could be as simple as anything. You know what I mean? But if you feel it, it just weighs more on you. So I always look for that first. And then, you know, the way that I'm trying to build as I call it, Overbrook 2.0 is it's a lot smaller. There's only 4 of us. Right. I'm really close. Oh yeah. I'm really close with all of my team. And we're trying to just take what our predecessors have done and then revamp it into this new world. You know what I mean? And we're still trying, like we're going to start building our Overbrook, social media pages more. We'll start posting more things from set. Like this year, we're making 4 movies and a TV show. Like it's never been this busy. Never. You know what I mean?
You have 4 employees, which everybody else, if they're doing that, they have hundreds.
Yes. And let me tell you, we're gone all year. Nobody will be in the office except my boss, James Lassiter. He'll be there. And JL says, I love that. When there's nobody in this office but me, I know we're working. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's true. And we are out there. We're shooting. We have a movie. We're doing Bad Boys 3. We're doing Uptown Saturday Night. We're doing 2 movies. We're doing To All the Boys. We did a movie on Netflix that did really well. So they wanted to do both movies. They wanted to shoot 2 more movies back to back. And then we have a movie in Boston with Paramount called Bounty, and then Cobra Kai comes back for season 3. Wow! So all 2019 is booked up, and I'm like,
how did we even get you here today? I mean,
no, because I leave Sunday to go to Atlanta to start.
We're lucky.
No, but what I love though is, and this is what I did a little bit of research on, and I knew that you had a lean crew, and it was over bloated before. Brought it down, but you're treating it like a startup. Like you're literally in startup mode, and even though that you're not, it's just you have that lean and you have the philosophies of no, like we don't need so many people. We just need to make sure we enlist the right people helping us.
That's right. All you need is the right people. You don't need a lot, because when you have too much, even you can have great people, but they can't really, it's like being everybody stuck in a room. It's like nobody can really do that. And you know what I mean? And having the less employees, it's easier for me to manage. I can talk to each one, and they each have different skills that they bring to the table. So we all complement each other. I always take myself again, call it like Voltron. You know what I mean?
I love Voltron.
No, you ain't faster.
Huh?
Having less people.
Yes. 1,000%. And they got more responsibility. So now they feel more empowered because you're on set by yourself. Caleb is coming in for a day, 3 days, a week maximum on this project because he's doing this one. So you got to be there. Now you're going to sink or swim, baby. And listen, I much rather have that. I much rather know that you can't do it, or instead of keeping you on payroll and always wondering if you can. But you never get the shot because there's so many people, right? It's like no. I want you, and I believe, it's like weightlifting. You want a little bit weight that just makes you go, and that's how it grows. You don't want too much where you can't lift it. So I don't ever do that. So I'll always come in and I'll help with my, newer producers and be there, always there to answer questions, handle the big things for them. Like I'm not going to make them talk to the studio head or talk to, you know what I mean? Because there might be because it could be any issue and they're like, oh my God, they yelled at me. They said this, you don't want any of that. That could be too much weight, but just getting used to being on set, dealing with people. I have a philosophy of how I like people treated on my sets and like how you are to act and conduct yourself with people, because this whole industry is about people. If everything is about the project and I don't care how you feel, let's go. Well,
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. You could get number one. You could have the movie that works
once, but won't work the second time.
Nobody's gonna want to come back and work for you.
Right.
And if they do, they're only doing it for the money. So now you're not getting the best out of them.
So my question. So that philosophy, like you started at the bottom, right? And you worked your way up.
I was a driver.
And isn't that the reason why you have the philosophy today? Is because you worked with people like that. And you're like, there's no way I'm going to work with that. I don't care what money they.
I've had the. It's a blessing to be with. I was on Will's hip for so long and he wouldn't allow me to talk any of that stuff in meetings, but I got to see some of the biggest directors, producers, writers in the world, studio heads, and some of them are really great people and others are less. And I saw the ones I did not want to be like. I don't care how much money you have, right? If people don't like you, the hell is that? I'd much rather make less money and people are like, that's my dude. If Caleb ever needs me to work on a movie, I'm there for that guy. Rather than, yeah, his movies work, but he's a dick. I hate that guy. Like, I just don't want that reputation. You know, I just don't, you know, and you know, that could be a fault of my own to where somebody will say, well, you'll never have this amount. Okay. You know, I think
it's applied to all forms of leadership. I think all leadership could learn that.
Right.
And do that better, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard because, you know, once you're on a set and you're working and, you know, things are hectic and, you know, and when you manage a set, because a producer's job is people management. That's your first job on set. And then it's the story and the actors and all of that. But if your crew is unhappy, if people aren't, you gotta worry about that because it's going to destroy everything that's in front of the camera. Because the first lesson I learned was nothing matters except between action and cut. Yes, right up until it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
And it's and so you have to do both things. You have to make sure the movie's coming out great, but also be 100% there for the people with any issues and try to listen and then figure out ways to help, you know, and it's not always easy. You got some people just rude and just mean people and you know what I mean? But it's part of the job.
Oh, so you've done a lot of disruption in this industry. And it sounds like, you know, I mean, you should write a business book. Systems and processes and, you know, morale and all that stuff.
The title of his book, Don't Be a Dick.
Absolutely. That's a good title. That's so true though.
Right. Where do you see things happening? Like what's next with content? Like, I mean, where is there going to be more disruption?
It's really just in the types of things that we start making. See, here's the beauty about streaming services is that now, because studios have a certain thing that they have to make a certain amount of money and they don't want to offend or do anything that's offensive. So that's why you'll have they won't do a movie that talk like about a preacher or something, right? It's rare, very rare. They're more Oscar sort of bait, something. They won't do those things. But see, now with streaming, you can do movies that are actually, as I always say, a little bit more about something in the sense where they make people think. You got to have shoot 'em up, fun, sexy, all of that. It's candy. Great. We love it. We all love that. But we also, as humans, look for stuff just a little bit deeper sometimes. Sometimes we don't even know that's what we're looking for, because I always say the only reason why we tell stories is to learn what either to do or what not to do. It's the only reason why humans started telling stories. The kid lies and they say, oh, let me tell you the story about the boy that cried wolf, right? Because there's a lesson, right? Like if you continue to lie, people will not believe you. And then when you really need them, they won't be there for you and your life can be in danger. So don't lie, because lying can essentially kill you. That's the point of that story. You know what I mean? If you look at any fairy tale stories, there are always lessons about life. So and what I want to do is make more content that have lessons about life that people can enjoy and then be like, damn, that's freaking interesting. You know what I mean? Like that, like I want to do things like that, but also the candy and the fun and that too, because I got that side. But I definitely want to make more time and more projects and content that are a little bit more thought provoking, that actually aid you in your life, you know, besides just making you laugh or think something is cool or want to buy a car or something, you know.
So would you consider yourself a creative? I mean,
1000%. I write. I want to start directing. I think I'm gonna direct my first movie next year. It's a movie that I wrote that I want to get into it because I just love storytelling, and anybody that's worked with me, they will all tell you extremely opinionated and very, you know what I mean? So they're like, you know, so like I know that's where I want to go, and I just, you know, it's just another learning process. You know, I'll have to learn it and get it and go and you know, hopefully I can make something that's halfway decent so I can get another shot, you know, and just continue. But that's what I would really like to do. So I guess the directing would be the place where I'll do a little bit disrupting, as you guys put it.
Yeah. No, I love that. So a couple things. There's a lot of creators that are here in Hollywood and LA and so on and so forth. And they move here just so they can get their shot. And they start like at some studio doing whatever. However, there's other platforms like YouTube, for example, where people are literally being discovered from all around the world with just different talents that they have, whatever it may be. What advice would you give people that are looking to start out? What would you give them, knowing both sides a little bit?
I would say be 100% disciplined, right? Because
isn't that the same thing? That's the same advice that Will gave you.
But it's the truth because whatever path you choose, it's going to be hard work. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to give hours. You're going to be away from family, people you love. It's gonna take that. Like, you can't be lazy with it and just think, oh, well, I don't have to put that much time because I'm really good at it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So first, be disciplined. But after that should just come just with basics, with just the basic, with the starter package. Hopefully you have that button. But then find what you actually love. What's the thing that you would do for free? What's the thing that you would do and still have a day job because you love it like that? Look for that. Don't go into something just for money, because that will not sustain you. You will hate it. You'll be like, it ain't worth it. They don't pay me enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, so make sure that you love what you're going into. And just say you don't know, really. You just know you want to be in the entertainment business or something, but you don't know exactly what it is. Fine. Take a job somewhere and it will find you. If you're in the right area, it will find you. You'll start finding where your interests are, and you'll start going that path. Like me, I started off as acting, but what was interesting was I much rather create than act, right? Now acting is more glamorous. You get to be in front of the camera. All the girls know you. You make more money, all this cool stuff. You could be Creed, shit. You know what I'm saying? But I actually enjoy the creating more, being behind it, coming up with the ideas, fighting for them, shooting it, seeing if we can get that performance. Oh my God, you got me with that. Yes. I like that. You know what I mean? So I moved towards producing and writing more. And then recently I discovered in the past, 2 years, that I really want to direct. And it was funny. Like 5 years ago, we were doing a movie. We were doing a pre-production on a film that we didn't make called American Can. And Lee Daniels was going to direct it. And I remember me and Lee, I had to go to Louisiana with Lee for a week. We'd go around meeting people, all that, because we were producing it and he was directing. And we went to lunch. And I'll never forget, because during the day, I'm talking to people, doing stuff, and Lee didn't say nothing. He's just watching me. I didn't think he liked me. I was like, oh, man. So we go to lunch, and he's just sitting there across the table, and he's looking at me. And he goes, you know what, Caleb? And I'm like, oh, here it come. You know what I mean? I'm not doing this movie, all this. That's what I'm thinking. He goes, you're not a producer. And I was like, oh, God. Like, oh, what did I do wrong? How am I not a producer? I'm not a producer. What am I, right? And he goes, you're a director. And I said, what? I said, nah, Lee. He said, mark my words, boy. He said, the way you talk to people, the way you talk about stories, and I was just watching you. He says, you're a director. I said, nah, I can't have that. I don't want the headache. He said, mark my words. And I swear, and 2 years ago when it hit me, I bust out loud. I was like, Lee was right.
So you put that seed in there?
Yeah, he just said he knew it. He said, I can look at you. That's what you are. He says, don't worry. You're going to find it. Because at that time I was like, no way. Hell no, I'm going to be no director. And now I'm like, you know what? I think I may want to try it. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, he sure did. He was the one.
Let's talk about brands integrating with content. Like literally at the end of the day, we have to make money, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's several ways you can make money. Brand integrations in products.
Yes.
Like Cobra Kai.
Yes.
What was interesting about projects like that and other projects you've done working with brands? How has that helped you with your project, and how has it hurt you as well?
Well, it only hurts if it's obvious, right? Audiences hate. Oh, okay, here you go, selling me damn, you're trying to sell me this thing. But if it's organic, right? If it's just in the scene normal. So we did Annie, and we got a lot of products from Whirlpool, right? But they're just in the back. You don't notice, but if you notice, you'll see it. But it's not like There's Whirlpool. You know what I mean?
Like, go do the dishes with the Whirlpool.
Right. It wasn't that. So like for me, I don't mind any product placement because the world is filled with it. You just look around this studio. There's everything.
It looks funny if you make up goofy products.
Right.
You know, like fake logos and all that stuff.
Right. Because everybody notices it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it just needs to be. Don't have it there, but don't pay attention to it the way you would in real life. I know what bottle this is. I don't need to just keep. Is it in front? Okay. You know, like that because that's not real. People know you barely pick up a bottle and the logo is perfectly centered in the camera. It's placed right. Come on, you know.
I think it's a win-win too, is because we have data that shows that it's not only just better for the content, it's better for the brand too.
Yeah.
Like if the brand is too bold, in a series or in a film, it's not going to be helpful.
Right.
If anything, it's going to be backlash.
Yeah.
I look at the best example of brand integration is E.T. with Reese's Pieces. I'm telling you right now.
Sure.
Like they went to M&M's first, and say, hey, we want a heavy beat. No, we don't want to do that. That's kind of dumb, whatever. But you look at the acceleration of Reese's Pieces after that. I know that's when I started eating them.
Yeah.
As you can see, I haven't stopped. But seriously, it was like perfect brand integration. It was a part of the story.
It's part of it, but it's a kid with candy. What is more organic than that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll tell you the truth. Goonies. Sloth Love Chunk. Baby Ruth.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it was funny. Oh, yeah. They used it in a funny way, but it worked. You know what I mean? And you could be more obvious than holding it and saying it and shaking it like that. But nobody cared because it was organic to the piece. It was funny. All of that. Humor covers everything. You got any mistakes in story, any mistakes in anything you're doing, if something is funny, all is forgiven.
It's all forgiven. Huh? All right. Well, seriously, what I love about the direction you're going is you're all hustling, you're all making it work. You're going different directions, getting all these projects done. I'm really looking forward to Cobra Kai, season 2. And you said it was off the hook. Is there anything?
It's ridiculous.
Anything that you could share with us without?
Yeah. Because if you watched into season 1, you know who's back.
Yep.
So we have Kreese.
And he's like the best villain ever.
He is.
He's the best. Seriously. And let me tell you, Marty is the nicest, sweetest man. You would be like, how are you so evil and conniving as a character? And it's cut. Hey, Caleb, how are you? How was your weekend? Is you okay? So good to see you. Stay in such good shape. He's that guy. You know what I mean? Just the sweetest, nicest guy. But then when they say action, boom, he turns it on. And it's a battle for the dojo. You know what I mean? Different philosophies. I can't get into much more than that, but it's it's a triangle between Kreese, Johnny, and Daniel. I was about to say Ralph, but Daniel. So it's really fun. A lot of action, a lot of cool stuff, very emotional, and just. It's growing pains for all three of those characters. It's really interesting.
Yeah, when he entered in the dojo, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm like, oh no. And no offense, I thought he was dead, actually.
Right.
I literally did.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah. A lot of people did. A lot of people hadn't seen him, but hey, he is alive and well, still looks great. Doing his thing. I couldn't be more happy.
Now, with the success of Cobra Kai, the first season, are you looking at season 2 to market it differently? I know that YouTube has a lot of data and they're going to promote it their own way, but for you, where it's your production, is there anything that you're looking at to get it more exposure and to the right people? Well,
I think now because of like you said, the success of it, now we can do more specificity with the audiences because a lot of people like it. So now you can do promotion that just angles towards women with the girls. We have two, our Samantha character this year, she gets a rival and on the Cobra Kai side, and that girl is a monster, but it's two girls, right? Two young ladies. So you can just use those characters and market to that to get more young girls to come watch it because you're going to see girls that look like you that are doing this cool stuff. You know what I mean? you also have the line with
They're promoting different characters.
Oh yeah, and you could touch different demographics. You know what I mean? I'm learning those things now. Demographic, those kinds of words. You know, set of quadrants and things. You know, but it's like it's that you can target them more specifically and really ignite just a certain area. You know, you can look at where you're weak and then go there. With men and boys, we're golden. Like they're Cobra Kai'd out. They love it. So it's just grabbing, you know, more older women, more younger women, bringing them, letting them see more of themselves in it. You know what I mean? And the growth and the arcs of those characters. And you know, these girls are dealing with love.
So taking
and
the demographics before you actually writing the scripts for season 2, you're like, okay, let's take a look at what we can learn from this. Mm-hmm. And you applied the data and you're like, hey, there's a market here that we could actually hit. And it was like, how do we get more, you know, teenage girls?
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. You know, you also want to, there's also with different ethnicities of people, like, you know, making sure there's people of color in there, just of all different facets, all of, you know, those kinds of things, bringing them so they can see a piece of themselves in it. Because the truth is, high schools nowadays, unless you're in super rich areas, they're going to be very multicultural.
That's right.
And even in the rich areas, there's a lot of super rich people that aren't necessarily quote unquote white. So you get so many different ethnicities in all these areas. So it doesn't feel organic if there's not a different looking kid in the class, if there's not a different, you know what I mean? It's like you can't, it's not all black. It's not all Latino. It's not all white. It's not all Jewish unless you're at a specific school that is that. And even it's very rare. You know what I mean? So we wanted to make it feel real. And, you know, I guess organic is getting old, but it's really that, like where it feels natural when you see, it's like, yeah, that's a high school.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you watching right now? Are there any series that you're binging?
Oh man, you know what's so funny? I watch a lot of different shows on TV. Majority of the shows I watch are like, I am a Game of Thrones junkie. I have been. I've watched the first episode when it first came out because I love period. History is like my favorite thing.
Oh yeah.
So like, I just thought that show was so excellent. So I followed it. So I'm looking forward to this season. I also watch Ray Donovan. I love Ray D. That is my show. I love those kinds of things. I'm a fan of Black Mirror because it's weird. And I'm like,
okay, did you see Bandersnatch? That oh my gosh,
I'm watching that tonight,
dude. I'm telling you, it's like off the charts good. It was like literally a rabbit hole for 4 hours.
Yes,
it's choose your own adventure.
It's a choose your own adventure, right? And I realized
that's like old school YouTube. Right there.
It is old school YouTube. It's like it's so amazing, but I realized that each decision had like so many different paths. Like I lost like 4 hours of my life, but it was worth it.
Yes, it's like my video game that I've been binging since I've been home for 3 weeks, Red Dead. You know, so I always make sure I do the right thing.
I just started that. It's amazing.
One of my favorite genres of film. Westerns, I love them, right? I love them. Any Western that comes out, I go watch
like John Wayne?
Oh, I grew up watching, because my dad would watch John Wayne, but he loved Clint Eastwood. Oh, yeah. So I got a lot of Clint Eastwood. The Outlaw Josie Wells was my dad's one. He loved that. I was more Good, Bad, and the Ugly, but he was like...
Have you noticed that most of those storylines are very similar?
Yeah.
They're all like basically
they're all
the same.
They're all the same.
They're so good. Oh,
but
yeah.
It's just, you just love it. Like, I think my favorite will... Again, Young Guns, I love that series, but I'm telling you, that Tombstone, that's a damn Western. I love Sam Elliott too. Yeah. It was just great. Kurt Russell, one of his best performances to me. Like, I'm into Western. So that game is like, I'm just having so much fun. I love it. But that one is, you pick your, like, the way you act is how the world reacts to you, you know. So I'm trying to be as good as possible. You know what I mean? Okay. So, and it's so funny. You're riding through towns. They say, "Hey, partner, how are you today?" So you know what I mean? But if you're a villain, they're like, "Hey, get away from me!" It's so funny.
I'm not that guy that goes around punching people.
Not at all. Not me. Even though I know I
can. Are you more of a Fortnite guy or a PUBG guy?
Oh man, you know what? My cousins and everybody, they would kill me if I didn't say it, so it has to be Fortnite because they all all day, like big on that. And now my daughter, she's 6 and she wants a Fortnite party when she turns 7 in March. And I'm like, babe,
That's
really?
amazing.
She's like, yes, daddy. Oh my, I'm like, wow, that game just took over the world.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's really interesting where entertainment's going, especially for the younger generation. It's like, you know, you have platforms like Facebook and so on. It's just like my kids will never go on Facebook. It's
Right.
like, no, it's like that's where old people go.
Yeah.
You know, and then now they're focusing in more with, you know, TikTok and like Instagram. Where do you see like the entertainment for movies? Where do you see that going in the next 10 years?
To the big screen. And this is what I call the big screen. Right here, your cell phone. That is the big screen. Kids nowadays, see me, I still love theaters. I want to go and sit down and see the big
Get some
screen.
popcorn.
Yep. Kids are like, yeah, right. I can get it right here. Right? So everything is going to go here. I think eventually, you know, I think the movie theater experience will always be there. I think it's going to be in a lot less capacity in 10 years. Like
It can still come from the phone, though.
Right.
I can project them to a big screen from the phone.
There it is. But I really believe that the cell phone, the smartphone has literally changed the world forever because all the content comes through here. So, you know, people are watching 2.5-hour movies on their cell phone. I can't do it. I still use my iPad to watch certain things, like, you know what I mean? Because I just need, it gotta be a little bit bigger.
Right.
You know what I mean? For me, but my son and his friends and my nephews, they can watch everything on here and they don't have no
even
issue.
if there's an 80-inch LCD screen right there, like, no, that's fine.
They much rather that. And, you know, so directors are going to have to get it okay with the idea that it's not this anymore, right? Where you got this big screen, it's like, it's going to be smaller. So now you can make different decisions with stuff because, you know, but the technology is so great. You probably can still have probably a 3D movie on your cell phone. That'll probably be available in the next couple of years, you know? Yeah. So, you know, but I just really think
like VR goggles.
Yeah.
I just have this, like, I don't know. The way I see the future, it's more choose your own adventure type thing. I think gaming is so big.
Yes.
It's like the day that.
Well, no, there's a lot of games that make more money than.
The industry is like the industry is not even comparable.
Right.
I mean, gaming industry versus Hollywood, gaming wins every time. But it's like this culture with my kids, and I'm even a gamer, is just like getting to the point where you could go live in a video game.
Yes.
It's like I took my kids. There's a place in Linden, Utah, called The Void, and they do just this whole virtual reality experience. You walk in and you have your own adventure. You kind of go through the whole thing. When my kids got done with it, they're like, could we live here? Because it was like, it was creating their own movie in their own thing. And I don't know. For me, I think gaming and entertainment, the type of entertainment, are going to come together. I don't know if it's going to be Ready Player One style, but it's like it's coming very fast together.
Eventually,
You know, I mean, I think it's going to get close to that, but
I do too.
I don't think there's going to be controls and all that stuff. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a cell phone. Again, now this sounds a little, Black Mirror-ish, I guess, or crazy, but you're going to have a cell phone and you're going to have like a scanner that scans the room. And you're going to be doing live action stuff like moving and punching and running by yourself in a room. I don't think you'll go to a place like that you mentioned. I don't think you're going to go to a place to have a virtual experience. I actually think it's going to happen within the home.
It's going to definitely be in the home. And I think the whole thing is like my kids love Fortnite and they're just on it the whole time. They would rather play Fortnite with their friends than go play with their friends. You know,
right.
I mean, that's just one of those things. Right. It's like, hey, we'd rather do this. And so I see that more really converging. And Fortnite's been a pretty amazing, game that's able to really rally around the world. And they're making billions of dollars. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's insane.
What they're doing. But do you see Hollywood and this conforming?
1,000%. It's going to have to. That's just because you got to give the people what they want. And that's the new form of entertainment. I'm telling you, virtual reality is about to change everything. It really is. The second, and I've been pitching this. It's so funny. It's the second you do a virtual reality shootout for Bad Boys 3, and you get to be next to Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett.
Oh, wow.
And you're there, and Will turns around and says, listen, go over there, go to that wall, cover up, and you bullets start flying. Just your heart is gonna start, cause your mind can't separate that shit. It's like, hey, they're trying to shoot us, you know what I mean? It's like, once virtual reality gets like that, it's gonna change everything. That's when people are gonna literally be stuck at home, just all day, not doing anything. It's gonna really hurt our society unless you can work while you're in your virtual reality world, because you're
so
not.
it is Ready Player One.
I'm serious. I really think it's going to get to that level. Like, the way that technology is already, like the fact that they can put you in a world and everywhere you look feels real. And if you're in a car and it goes down a hill, your stomach drops because your brain thinks, I mean, come on. They're manipulating your senses and everything. Once you can master that, man, it's insane. So again, I really do believe it's going to get that. And I think films are going to become more immersive because people are going to want it. You know, just they're going to want to experience it. Like that virtual reality, being able to sit on courtside at a Laker game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean. And
you can sit with a friend that's halfway around the world.
And it is literally the game. You're watching LeBron. You're watching whomever. Like, man, that experience is going to be so visceral. Once people get a taste, they're not going to be able to let that go. You don't go back. You can't unring that bell. That's what we'll always say.
Well, Caleb, thank you so much for coming in. And we really do appreciate it. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to all your projects that you have coming out, especially Cobra Kai.
Thank you.
Really, really excited about that. Thank you for coming on. And thank everyone for watching this podcast. Make sure you share this with your friends. This podcast is all about disrupting the world, and you are the biggest person in the world that can disrupt the world by doing things a little bit differently than what the status quo is. So go out and have a very successful day.